Well, it's that time again. Gather around your device as we are here for the Toby Foreman Show. How's it going, Toby?
Going good. Going as good as could be expected on a 2-game losing streak.
Yeah, we weren't going to talk about that. I wasn't going to mention that at all. I was going to talk about the tough game with Lake Belton last week, of course, opening up district play like that. No, tough opponent, first of all, but as we were talking before we started recording, yeah, you think that we had a team that could have beat them, and I saw a team that could have beat them too.
Well, I mean, we were tied in the fourth quarter, but, you got to finish the game. It's a 48-minute game, and, we made way too many errors in that game, too many penalties, and just, even though we didn't have any turnovers, just drives that ended without scoring that should have got some points. And so, those things are disappointing, but, like I said, it's a long season. We've got to be able to regroup and get better week to week, and I believe we're doing that.
Yeah, and you had those guys out of the way now, so we move on to the next team, Ellison Eagles. Ellison having a tough year, played some tough opponents, but having a tough year over there at Ellison High School, I know. Talk about what you've seen on film.
Well, they're a very talented group, and you can't, when we play Ellison, you can't go by the record. We've been on double-digit losing streaks playing them, and they've had almost the same record playing us, and the game always comes down to a possession. I mean, it always 6 years in a row now, it's been a one-possession game. It's been a one-score game, and so I don't expect any different. They've got several really good players, starting with number 3, Keyshawn Meeks. I believe he's one of the best linebackers in our district and in this area. Number 1, Tavion Johnson, who actually used to play for us, really good wide receiver. He's very athletic. They use him in special teams. He does a really good job, as well as their quarterbacks they use too. They use Sidney Holland, number 4, and Xavier Dormius, number 9. Those guys combined do a really good job. Their tailback, Daryl Caney, he's a junior. He does a really, really good job. And then they've got some other players on the defense side of the ball. James Holden, he's a defensive back, good player. Number 7, number 5, Elijah Martinez, he's a junior defensive back. He does a good job. Number 74, Kenneth Jones, he's a senior offensive lineman. He also used to play for us. So this is a true rivalry game. They've got about 4 or 5 of our former players, and then we've got a couple of theirs. So, emotions will be high in this thing, and it'll be an exciting game for the crowd.
And a defensive battle, too, because both these especially their defensive front with Meeks and those guys are tough, but that lends itself to the secondary being a little more questionable and able for you to exploit that.
Yeah, no, definitely. I mean, you look on film, and every year that I've been here, Ellison's had a solid front. They're very physical, they're athletic, and that gives a lot of teams problems. And so we've got to be able to hold up front with our offensive line and our tight ends. And in the end, it's going to come down to the same as it normally does: a team that blocks the best, tackles the best, and turns it over the least.
Yeah, and you've really got a lot of kids running the ball this year. You got a lot of kids catching the ball, so that's had a lot of different personnel in there.
Yeah, last week we had I believe we had 11 skill players suited out on offense, and all 11 of them touched the ball. Now, one of them touched it on a drop pass, but he still touched the ball. So but yeah, it's rare that we've been able to spread it around as much as we have, but the injury bug has kind of allowed that to happen because it's been a revolving door at running back and receiver. The tight ends have been, fairly healthy in the offensive line, but it's been the receivers and running backs that have been they've been nicked up here and just had minor injury issues. But we'll be ready. Like I said, I truly believe, and so does our team, in next man up mentality, and that's how it's been this season, and that's how it's continued to be this season.
And you'll be playing out at Searles Stadium out at Chaparral High School, so it'll be a packed house out there for sure. And maybe kind of warm again.
Yeah, it will be warm, but it won't be like it was a couple weeks ago.
No.
Kickoff, it was about 114 on the turf in Midlothian. It won't be that warm. It'll be under 100, which is good. But we do the same thing every week. We start hydrating on Tuesday, and we follow that up all the way through Saturday. Sunday and Monday they're on their own, but we hydrate 5 out of 7 days a week. And I have not had cramping issues. Our kids have played, and we've been in every game we've been in has been a 4-quarter ball game. So, I feel good about where we're at conditioning wise and overall hydration wise.
And I think it's going to be cool next week.
Yeah, we're looking forward to the cool. Cool may be 95, but we'll take it. We'll take that over 100 and whatever it's been. We had to have broke some records this year as far as heat goes. Had to.
Man, I tell you what, good thing you're playing on the turf and not on a rock hard field, huh?
Yeah, no, it's actually sometimes it feels like it's warmer on the turf, but you never can tell with that. But no, I mean we're looking forward. This is the Battle of Elms Road, and this is the kids look forward to this game every year, and they're 3.5 miles down the road. Coach Cervantes and those guys have done a really, really good job, and everybody the volleyball game this week. We saw some of them came over because we played Ellison on Tuesday, and it's some of our former players, and so I talked to Kenneth Jones in the parking lot and wished him well, and I've been following his career since he left, as well as a couple of other guys. Nathaniel Davenport he's a little injured right now, but he's over there, and Tavion Johnson. So like I said, it's kind of it's a true rivalry when you have guys that are from right down the street going up against each other. They grew up together. Some of them went to the same middle schools together. They played in the same youth leagues, maybe not the same organization, but against each other. So they're very familiar with each other, and that makes for a good atmosphere for a Friday night football in Texas.
Yeah, it's more like the old Killeen-Ellison rivalry used to be. This has been kind of replaced by the Shoemaker-Ellison rivalry over the past few years.
Yeah, that's right. I think we're a lot of people's rivalry. I don't know how that happened, but there's a lot of people that enjoy trying to knock us off, and that's fine. We know we're going to get people's best, and we should, and I believe we got a good team, and we've got to do, the little bitty things. We've got to be cleaned up, and if we'll do that, we'll be just fine.
Yeah, it all starts on Friday night, right?
Yes, sir, it does. Our motto for this year is go 1-0 this week, and we're going to attempt to do that, and until we can't do that anymore. But I think our kids believe in that. We've had a good week of practice. This is our first 2-game losing streak in 3 years, so we hadn't lost back-to-back games, so they're not used to this, and I don't want them to get used to this. So this is something that they've been upbeat. I think probably playing the team we're playing this week has helped more than anything, because if we were playing a team from the DFW that they didn't, it just there wouldn't be the same fire. They don't want to lose to their neighbors. You don't want to lose to your neighbor. Not that you want to lose to anybody, but just means a little bit more when you're playing a guy from down the street.
Yeah, when somebody across the parking lot yelling at you at the movie theater or over at the mall saying, "Hey, what happened the other night?" Yeah,
exactly. It's a full year of bragging rights, and that means something. It means something to me, and I know it means something to our team.
Pride. That's what it's all about.
That's exactly right, pride. But
as an Ellison Eagle, I have pride, but I love my Shoemaker Grey Wolves at the same time. So you're not going to get me to pick any of these teams.
Well, this when we play Ellison, we got to kind of keep the scout report on away from you, because we don't know. You're an Ellison grad, and sometimes that stuff creeps in your mind.
People don't know that I can't even read a scouting report.
We trust you. But no, we're excited about this week, and we're excited about this opportunity. And I know Coach Cervantes' team will be ready, as will we.
And as always, I'll give you the last word, baby.
We always say this, and we mean it. As always, go Grey Wolves.
You are watching I-14 Sports Network.